We're 1 week into the NFL season. The Arizona Cardinals are 1-0, so everything's sunshine and butterflies. Isn't that right, Johnny Venerable?
Wrong. The Cardinals' passing game remains a work in progress. Do you believe Drew Petzing? Run game needs to be emphasized. Are you in the camp that the Cardinals, they missed the boat this offseason by adding additional playmakers to a receiving core that's may or may not be getting it done? PHNX Cardinals, by the way, starts now. Hey, welcome in. Live from Studio K, presented by our friends at Circle K. The PHNX Cardinals podcast, your premier #1 in the world Arizona Cardinal podcast. I mean, like and subscribe. Leave us a 5-star wherever you get your programming. I'm Johnny Venerable. He's Bo Brack. Noah Man behind the mic. We are rested. We are ready to go. 36 hours removed from New Orleans, 24 hours roughly, and we're here talking Cardinal football, Bo Brack.
Yeah. Some of us are rested. Others have a 3-month-old at home, and I'm semi-rested, right? At least it's not the Bourbon Street type of tired. Of course, this episode brought to you by our friends over at Bet365. Never ordinary. Download the Bet365 app today. Use the code PHNX365. Deposit $10. Place a bet for $5 and get $200 in bonus bets. Check it out. Bet365. We got a tasty parlay coming your way. Boost this Sunday. Don't miss out on that. But I got to tell you, love the sponsor, right? Love Bet365. Love the fact that the Cardinals are 1-1. Love the show on deck for you. We got Ross Tucker, who was on the call on Sunday, but I love the new membership going on. I mean, what is going on in the chat with the emojis, the lives, the dubs, I mean, the HTLs out there. I mean, it's just taking this thing to a whole nother level. And we have been tasked, Johnny, that if we are able to add 10 new memberships today,
okay,
we have a next level elite emoji that will be at your disposal. And we can reveal that once we get to that magic number. 10.
I know what the emoji is.
Yeah.
I don't approve of it. I'm going to tell everybody right now, if you saw it, it's hurtful to your boy, but we will soldier on.
Seen it? Have we shared it somewhere?
I feel like I've seen it. Yeah, it's in our work
It's in our hearts. It's in our minds forever. It's ingrained.
Yeah. I mean, here's what I will say. When it's revealed, because I know we're going to get 10, when it's revealed, people are going to like it. People are going to really like it. How about that? So almost as much as they like this passing game. We're going to get things started here on a football Tuesday. Drew Petzing spoke with the media today. Very apropos, poetic, because getting a lot of the advanced metrics, breakdowns, etc. Cardinals offense, while it was the best in the division over the weekend, they easily played the worst defense, Houston, San Francisco, Seattle, however you want to put the barometer on it. Sure. And I think we're a little disappointed with the output. And the common denominator on the defensive side is, yeah, you'd like to see some TFLs and some takeaways. They gave up 13 points. Offensively, it's like, yeah, there are some nice things they did, but they scored 20 points. They scored 3 points in the second half. And it's funny, I'm going to spoil a bite from Drew Petzing, but you doubled down on this yesterday because you know him so well. What did he say? He said, we got to get back to doing what? Well, running the football. Yet no one is sitting here talking about, well, the run game was, it was just a little bit up and down. It's
Can I add some context to this?
Yes, go ahead.
You go on and you just point the finger just unfairly at the offensive coordinator for the Arizona Cardinal. I had asked them. That was a question about the run game.
Big J.
I had said that, Trey Benson's explosive 52-yard run was a third of their rushing total. You take that away, and they're under 100 yards rushing.
Yeah.
Was he concerned about it? And then did I give you this clip, Noah, about the run game? Yeah, let's hear Drew's answer.
All right. When you have the big numbers, your yards per carry looks good. But hey, if we handed the ball off 18 times and 2 of them got us, 80% of those yards, we need to be more efficient in the running game. I think that's going to be a big thing moving forward here.
I mean, it's basically
you're concerned about that. That got you all bent out of shape.
I mean, it's basically what I just because here's what I'm going to tell everybody, and I agree with this. Jacob in the chat. No, you forced the run game in the end, which almost cost us the game, Drew. 100%. The run game was not working. It wasn't working. What was working? Going to Marv, going to number 85. Last year, the Cardinals, over 17 games, averaged about 223 passing yards per game. Roughly, Kyler Murray about 3,800 yards passing. And you and I have both gone on the records. Like this year, you got to hit 4,000 yards passing. You got to be in the neighborhood of like 4,000, 4,100, maybe 4,200.
Yeah.
Well, you're already starting behind the 8 ball with that. Kyler Murray threw for about 160 over the weekend. And again, passing yards are not indicative of wins, and I get that. But for this team in particular, when we've seen the highest of the heights in terms of a team being able to run the football and a defense that was spunky and opportunistic last year, got you 8 wins. We need to see that next step in the passing game. And again, it's why we led the show with this question today.
Yeah.
A lot has been made about this locally, that the Cardinals missed the boat with adding another playmaker this offseason. I think most people know how we feel, that it is not playmaker specific. Now, if they had like T. Higgins or something like that, of course it would be different. I believe wholeheartedly we have enough. We have 35 games now. That's a big sample size with Drew Petzing. We have 100-yard receiving performance by a wide receiver, and routinely are not seeing 4th, 3rd receivers showcased during games. So much so that let's look at this graphic here. Noah put this graphic together before the show, and I think it perfectly encapsulates where the Cardinals are dating back to the bye of last year. And you remember, Bo, the bye was the turning point, okay? When they went downhill offensively, Seattle twice, the Rams, etc. Michael Wilson has 246 receiving yards in 8 games. Greg Dortch, 153, 2 touchdowns, both came in the finale. Zay Jones has 85 yards receiving, and he was clearly, the 5th option last year, 4th or 5th option.
Right.
And that's carried over into this year. It's I know that 85 and 18 need to be prioritized. I think that this is a case, though, for people out there, myself included. When you see these numbers, I don't think it's an indictment of the players, and maybe I'm in the minority with this. I think it's an indictment of the scheme. I think it's an indictment of how they choose to operate offensively. And there was a brief period in the second quarter where I said, they've got it. They figured it out. They're changing it up. Second half was atrocious offensive game planning. And again, these numbers speak for themselves.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the offensive game plan, I mean, you're going to try to fault an offensive coordinator for trying to run the ball in the second half, sitting on a lead. And I hear you. I think you make a great point as far as when you take away the 52-yard run, Trey Benson's day is under 3 yards per carry.
Yeah.
You had James Conner under 4 yards per carry, under 3.5 yards actually per carry. The only one that was running the ball efficiently, like Drew said there, was quarterback Kyler Murray, and he was doing it at 5.5 yards per clip, as he's traditionally done under Drew Petzing in his offense. For Drew to say, hey, we got to run the football better, I have no issue with that. That's not him saying, well, you wanted passing, we're going to run it. We're going to run it some more.
You're going to run it.
You like it. You're going to like it. Yeah, here's some more running for you, and then we're going to give you an extra helping of that.
Well, how did they start the game? We sat in the press box. We watched the first four. What was the first formation they ran out against New Orleans?
13 personnel. There were 3 tight ends out there on the field. We were laughing. We were like, this is a parody of itself. This is a joke, right? And then they get into a passing down, and they take one of the tight ends off the field. They get into 12 personnel, right?
Look out.
And they're able to convert, because of Trey McBride is so efficient and so, big in this offense. They're able to get a first down before, needing to punt and having a pretty ineffective first series, and then followed by an ineffective second series before in the third series, you've got Marvin Harrison Jr. and Kyler Murray connecting downfield for a 45-yard bomb, 51 yards in the air by Kyler Murray. Pretty good looking play. But I hear you. Like there needs to be a mix of that. But getting to this conversation about should they've been a more aggressive team in the offseason as far as upgrading the playmakers, like when you look at the offensive ecosystem, could it be appealing to an outside player, a player that's got the skill set that you want, that would fit best to come in here and compete? Or like we know how this team is, they want to give the opportunity to the guys they know. They want to give an opportunity to Michael Wilson. They want to give it to Zay Jones, bringing him back, and Xavier Weaver, who they kept on the roster throughout the year, even though it was basically a red shirt one, in his rookie season out of Colorado. So I just don't like one game isn't a smoking gun to say you blew it and you didn't get the job done this offseason by going and getting the game-breaking wide receiver at the time, with the context, like you didn't have room for.
Well, there are two arguments to be made. It's either schematics or it's personnel. Jalen Blair in the chat says someone on Twitter, and Bo, you pulled these numbers on our flight from back home from New Orleans.
Yeah.
Had the separation generated by our pass catchers, and our number 2 and number 3 receivers don't create separation. And like that, some truth to that. Mm-hmm. Although, like, I feel like anytime Michael Wilson gets a target, he makes the most of it. But that's a fair criticism. Bo, let me ask you a question. Who picked these receivers?
Monti Ossenfort?
This regime.
Yeah.
Drew Petzing.
You're going to try to say
Jonathan. Yeah. Well, no, but all I'm saying is this is not, hey, brother, it's 2023.
Yeah.
We're going to make the most of Hollywood Brown's corpse running around out here. We're going to make the most of Zach Pascal, Band-Aid player, special teamer. We'll throw him out there.
Yeah.
No. This is what they wanted. These are the weapons. Mm-hmm. Zay Jones got re-signed flipping day one of free agency. They brought his ass back like, we want Zay Jones back here. And then Michael Wilson was a really good player his first year, and his targets have gone down because this passing game doesn't know how to delegate to a second and third option at receiver.
Yeah.
Michael Wilson got a ton of targets year one. Guess what? Because he was the best receiver on the team.
Mm-hmm.
It was pre-Marv. Really, it was pre-Trey McBride takeover. So now you look at this receiving core, and it's like, well, Greg Dortch and Michael Wilson and Zay Jones can all have their moments. There is no continuity or consistency with that because of the offensive infrastructure. So whether it's Luther Burden or Christian Kirk or T. Higgins or whomever you want to bring in, it is a fart in the wind. It is a waste. I've come to that conclusion because of the lack of targets. The Cardinals were second to last in the NFL in the preseason with 3 wide receiver sets. They do not care to do it. And again, you can complain about Kyler Murray. He is far from perfect. I know he can operate with multiple receivers on the field. I know he can delegate to multiple receivers. Mm-hmm. This is an offensive schematic problem. And I'm going to tell you something right now. The benefit of this offense is what? Running the football and minimal hits on the quarterback. You didn't do that Sunday. If that carries on, if that becomes a trend, I don't think it will. But if it does, then what would you say you do here, right? You're supposed to be able to control the line of scrimmage. You didn't do that. Clayton Adams is gone. He's in Dallas right now. So the things that you hang your hat on that you do well offensively sucked it up on Sunday. And then your passing game wasn't there in the second half. So all I'm saying, that's something to watch for in the coming. You have to get that corrected fast. Like this weekend, that has to be cleaned up.
I think that the biggest downfall was the inability to get the run game going against what was a bad run defense last year. And we want to go out and we want to point to the passing attack and the lack of separation and that there's scheme issues. I mean, when they dialed up the passing attack, when you think about key moments, like 3rd and long, they actually looked better, way better than they did last year. They hit close up 50% on 3rd and long opportunities. Like your question or your, statement saying like they probably should have diverted from the run game once it showed it to be unsuccessful early in the second half. I mean, that's the best point here. But then to turn to the passing attack and saying like you couldn't do this. Paris Johnson Jr. He was 100% as far as keeping pressure off of Kyler Murray. Actually, you look at the sacks that Kyler Murray took in that game. The 3 early ones two of them were self sacks that he's sliding at the line of scrimmage or just before.
Right.
It's like those are okay. Those are going to be sacks in the box score. But I really do look at this game like it would have been completely different in the second half if you could have just run the football like run the football. I mean, that's where my big sticking point is. Like, sure, you look at these separation numbers, and I've got them up here, and this is per Next Gen Stats. Like Marvin Harrison Jr. just a hair below the league average. People are going to make a big stink about that. Like Marv has to be, above league average or whatever. He's a freak regardless. He's 6'4", 220. If he's the league average, then
you don't have a Marv problem,
right? You've got Trey McBride. He's got almost 3.6 yards of separation. You got Elijah Higgins almost under 4 yards of separation. Then you look at Michael Wilson; it's under 1.5, and that's a big bummer. But what was the emphasis in this game? Get Trey, get Marv the ball, and then let everybody else kind of be the complementary pieces. I'm not in already, guys. One game in to be Petzing is going to kill this season. I really don't. I don't know how you can make that point one game in. All Damon dogs go to heaven. Is Petzing low key one of Bo's in-laws? No, I'm not panic button after one offensive performance. I'm just not. The sky is not falling today, folks.
I love the win. I love the dub. Did that go as about what I thought? Passing game wise? Yeah.
Let me ask you something. Okay. If they score one more touchdown and it's 27-13, how do you feel about this game?
Much better, but they didn't because they didn't do. But Bo, you can't play that game. Last year, that was just like, well, just imagine if they scored one more touchdown per game. We can't like that, but they didn't. They stunk in this. The offense stunk in the second half. They looked disinterested. They looked incoherent. They looked disorganized. There were penalties. I'm going to tell you right now.
They were bad. Penalties were the worst part.
What I thought the benefit of the cohesiveness and the continuity was hit the ground running.
Yeah.
What unit looked like it was more buttoned up on Sunday? Oh, the unit that added like 10 new players. The best player on the team, you could make an argument, was a rookie corner that joined the team in May. Because
I think it's unfair to say like the downfield passing attack, being able to convert on 3rd and long that we did shows about in the offseason and that happening. And then you'd be like, this is the same offense.
It is the same
offense. He's going to ruin this season. Drew Petzing is enemy number one. Like, I mean, they couldn't run the ball. They were in a hostile environment and they made penalties, dumb penalties, pre-snap penalties. But we want to say this is a scheme problem, guys. Like, it's just make a fair point. And if getting away from the run game when it wasn't working, that's the first thing I'll agree with.
Bo, in the year of our football Lord 2025, they don't throw to wide receivers. The 3rd leading receiver was a blocking tight end who had 10 yards. Most of Kyler Murray's targets were at the line of scrimmage against the New Orleans Saints. I can't name
That's not effing true.
Yes, it is.
Look at Marv's route tree. Look at where Trey McBride caught the freaking ball.
Most of,
and then you're gonna just like wide receivers, Bo.
That's posted.
Criteria. Hang on. There is
Noah. What is going
on? Downfield passing attack, and you want to nullify it because you want to have this bogus criteria.
Oh my goodness!
He threw the ball down the field. It was there.
They threw it downfield in the second quarter. Like, Bo, they threw it downfield in the second half. They didn't complete any of those passes. Hooray.
He completed the 11-yarder to Marv.
Oh, 11 yards. Terrific. Oh my God. Terrific. 11 yards. You watch these other teams operate. Bo left the show.
Bo's dead. Good God.
Get Damon in here right now.
It's like I can have a discussion about Petzing. I can say like I didn't like what I saw either, but to sit here and have like this guy is Dunzo. It's a repeat.
I didn't say that. I didn't say he was Dunzo. I didn't say fire him. But like, what was the more impressive unit on Sunday against this? We're just gonna play yes or no with Bo.
Okay.
What was the more impressive unit, or not yes or no? Offense or defense on Sunday?
Gave up 13 points. The defense.
Well, okay. What was the problem offensively last year?
couldn't throw the ball when you needed to.
Okay. What was the problem in the fourth quarter on Sunday?
I don't know if you could say that was you couldn't throw the ball. You got smoked on a 0 blitz on 3rd down. Kyler Murray had no chance.
I'm going to read you some
please
possessions from the second half. Okay. Mm-hmm. Here are the Cardinals' last several possessions. Okay. They got a field goal to begin the third quarter, 6 plays for 49 yards. Then punt, miss field goal, punt against the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah. And I heard Drew Petzing actually put a banana field on the field that caused that field goal block.
Okay.
It slipped.
I mean, here's some of the highlights. I'm going to rapid fire here. I know you don't like.
Let's look at these drives. 9 plays.
Hang
plays.
on.
Yeah.
When the string of punts and missed field goals, run, short pass, run, sack. That's a possession. Here's another possession. Scramble, incomplete, 2-yard run. This is the Marvin play, the 12-yard pass, throw parade. James Conner for 2 yards. Then Kyler Murray hit Tip Ryman for 10. Kyler Murray scrambles for 11.
Tip Ryman. That's according to Johnny. Those don't count.
Incomplete pass, James Conner for 1 yard, incomplete punt. And then this, how about this drive? Just a banner drive here. 8 plays for 12 yards. Trey Benson, 3 yards. Kyler Murray to Zay Jones for 4 yards. Trey McBride for 5 yards. Trey Benson for -2. Kyler Murray ran for 8, holding penalty. Kyler Murray up the middle, 4 yards. Tip Ryman, 4 yards. Terrific. How about this play? 3rd and 17.
That was a scoring. That should have been a scoring drive. That was a field goal block.
But why wasn't it? 3rd and 17. You opted to do what? Run the football.
3rd and 17. That's right.
And you had a field goal blocked.
Okay. And they wanted to put themselves in a position to make that 13-point game.
A franchise offensively.
You want style points at that point. You want style points at that. That would have put the game away. That would have put the game away. And then you look at like the most egregious. So you got the punt for 9 plays, 35 yards. You got a missed field goal, which is a scoring opportunity. The worst drive they have, the one that you can say this is inexcusable, was the last one of the day. Other than that, like, you guys are nitpicking.
Bo, they completed 2 balls beyond 10 yards in the second half. And we're like, that's the problem. 3rd and 17, you're running the football. Like that.
To put the ball in field goal, to set up a field goal.
They had it blocked. It didn't work out. It's a fail then. It's a fail then. We just read the entire second half script.
I know.
They chose not to throw the ball downfield in the second half. They had a Marv slant and a Tip Ryman fart for 10 yards, and that's it. I can't believe you're sitting here telling me that it was
I can't believe you're crap.
What's my crap?
You're sitting here like and you're making excuses about a blocked field goal, which is a different phase of the game, and you're like, this is unbelievable. This is inexcusable. Like, the drive at the end of the game was the worst. You got to be able, as Gannon said, that's they didn't scout that look correctly, and Kyler Murray got lit up at the most important time in the game. But to sit here and say like, or you can't get any run game going, and you've got points of balls being completed, like, and you got a scoring drive mixed in there where the chance to put the game away. And you're saying like this is this big, like, egregious performance.
With the passing game, the offense was terrible in the second half. Firm argument that the pass game in the second half was way worse than the run game. Like, how many yards did Kyler Murray throw for in the second half? He had like 140 in the first half. He had finished like 163. All I'm saying is,
125.
125 in the first half. So he threw for about 40 yards in the second half. Against the Saints. And I get it. It's
supposed to be able to run the football against the Saints.
But
supposed to second worst team against the run last year. Supposed to run good teams can salt the clock away in that situation.
I think
that's what you should be pissed off about.
No, all I see is a team that couldn't throw the ball downfield last year, and then on Sunday that trend continued in the second half. But what you think this offense is improved? I know we got to go to break. You think this offense is improved from last year because of the plus that you're going to get from Marv?
I didn't see an improved performance, but I saw things that we didn't witness last year happen on Sunday.
But you're also in the camp that the offensive line didn't have a good game, and the run game was poor.
Right.
So, I mean, they've regressed in that aspect from what a dominant.
Well, they had a bad game.
Yeah, for sure.
What's more of a sample size, and what's more?
I think it's an outlier performance from a run game standpoint.
It better be.
Well, that's my whole point. Is like if we already know that you can't elevate wide receiver play. So if you're sitting here, Zay Jones and Greg
Dortch. A tweet. Calm down.
Michael Wilson. If Zay Jones, Michael Wilson, and Greg Dortch have one target apiece for almost negative yards. They almost had negative yards.
We went the entire 2024 season pounding the table, feed Marv, and now you're sitting here and we're crying about Greg Dortch and Zay Jones targets.
No, for a team that scored 20 points and Marvin Harrison Jr. had 5 catches. I don't know about feed Marv. I don't know how anybody can watch that and think like the passing game's ready to roll. I don't think that. We're rolling here. Yeah. PHNX Cardinals. Noah tells me I am in timeout and we have to go to break. We're going to come back. We got Rod Tucker coming up. I want to continue big boy conversations with my co-host here because this is important. This is important. Damn it. It's PHNX. But first, Bo's going to tell us about Zen Leaf Dispensary.
Oh, man. Zen Leaf Dispensary. This entire show needs a little Zen Leaf Dispensary. Maybe cool our jets. Chill out, man.
No.
You can get some Zen Leaf Dispensary. How about it? 50% off with our friends at Zen Leaf Dispensary. If you're gearing up for game day, winding down after a hike up Camelback, just trying to recover after, that brutal performance by the Sun Devils on Saturday, Zen Leaf is there for you. It's your go-to spot for cannabis, flower, vapes, edibles, and more. All your brands you trust, local locations across the valley. Chandler, Gilbert, Phoenix, so much more. In a limited time, you can use the promo code ZENPHNX. The show's very zen right now. ZENPHNX for 50% off. That's right, 50% off for just listening or watching PHNX Cardinals. Their website is linked in the description below. You got 8 Valley locations. Don't forget, they're limited time only promo code ZENPHNX. That's ZENPHNX to get your 50% off your one-time purchase. Zen Leaf, great weed, great service every time.
Everybody in the chat crushing it. We are halfway there to our goal of 10 new members. We have 5 thus far on this show. So everybody wants to see this new badge emoji that you can have that is shameful for your boy. But nonetheless, I'm not in shame with our friends at Bet365 because I cleaned up this weekend, friends. It was the anti-pass game for the Arizona Cardinals. I dominated with our friends at Bet365. Never ordinary live bet. Next touchdown, little Keon Coleman action. $10 paid out $100 for your boy. Right now, PHNX Sports is a proud partner with our friends at Bet365. So fired up. All the good stuff they've got going on, like the football early payout option. With Bet365 early payout, you're a winner if your team goes up by 17 points with an instant payout on straight bets and parlay selections marked as winners. How about it? PHNX 365 is ready to roll. Both money lines were paid out last year for NFL 4 times as much with the early payout option. That could be you, money in your pocket. New customers get $300 in bonus bets. Already spit mine, by the way. It was glorious. Bet $5, win or lose. Sign up. PHNX 365 is the bonus code. Deposit 10. You get those $300 in bonus bets. 21 years and older, physically located in Arizona. If you were someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Text NEXT STEP to 53342 or visit problemgambling.az.gov. Bo Brack for more information. And there's another member that joined. So we have 6 members. We have 4 more to go. You guys are absolutely crushing it. I appreciate everybody here. And listen, Bo and I yelled at each other, mostly Bo. That was hurtful. From
Welcome, Eric. I see you.
I want to get to the rest of Drew Petzing's comments here. And with all due respect to Nick Rallis, this is a safe space. We'll get to his presser comments when it's appropriate. But
he's busy calling HR on Drew Petzing.
He's
flirting with Nick, but anything Drew Petzing says is an HR violation.
Here, all Bo does is just send me pictures of Drew before the show just to get me irked up.
No, I sent you a picture of a really bad Cardinals offensive coordinator from the past that showed up on my phone.
And I said, why don't you put his face, Mike McCoy, and next to Drew Petzing on Twitter and just see what happens, but he wouldn't do it. A real friend would. Here's Drew Petzing on Kyler Murray and Marv's connection.
Yes and no. I'm certainly happy with the way that they played and the way they connected on a number of opportunities, but I think that's something we're going to evaluate every week and every game as we go through the year.
Wake up, Drew. Wake up. You're going to evaluate the top connection in the passing game, Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison Jr. Get this guy off my team. Get him off the coaching staff. He realizes the importance of K1, the MHJ. What a loser. What a loser. Get him out of here, Johnny.
What a loser he is. No, if you're going to be disingenuous and sarcastic, boy, we can't have a real big boy conversation. Like, I think Drew Petzing does some good things when the offense is on. The offense did not have a great day on Sunday. And what did, you're bringing up the offseason with Feed Marv. What else did we talk about this offseason? We talked about week 1. We'd love to see a crooked number, style points. We wanted to see this offense seamlessly transition with Justin Fry and all the pieces returning. And we talked about Drew Petzing being like, I know you're not surprised by this, but you're acting like it. Like you're surprised that people are critical of Drew's game plan on Sunday. No, in all actuality, that was always going to be the case until he can show you that he can do it.
Sure. And I think that there's fair criticisms to be made.
Okay.
I do. But when you look at it and say, you can say, where was the run game? Where was the offense? Like the offense to put the game away looked bad. It did.
Yeah.
But, to sit there and say, well, I didn't see anything that, looked like an improvement. I think that's not true either. They were able to conjure up 3 consecutive scoring drives. It should have been 4 out of 5 to put the game away. It's you can be disappointed in the performance, but still like sit here in week 1. I don't know if you want to like just completely bury the guy at this point for just old talking points.
Well, no, I think you can unequivocally say Marv looks infinitely better.
Mm-hmm.
But you can also be frustrated. It's like, well, let's make sure he finishes the game with 10 catches because we're going to put that final drive when the Cardinals are trying to get a first down and the run game hadn't worked all day.
Right.
And you're throwing it to Elijah Higgins and you're running Trey Benson. It's just like a real offensive coordinator that knows where his bread is buttered is going to go to 85 and 18. And I get it. Pass protection wasn't great. But when you've done this for this long, this is your 3rd year. You've had the majority of these playmakers your entire tenure. You should have a gimme play to Marv. You should have a gimme play to Trey to be able to say, you're going to run a 4 to 5 yard out, go try to get us some yak. I want my best players to have an opportunity to win us the game. I never feel that way with Drew. I always feel like you look back last year against the Minnesota Vikings when they couldn't put that game away. You look at the game against the LA Rams at the end. They couldn't come away with a touchdown. I know that was a fluky play to Trey, but when was the last time the offense, when they had to have it, took care of business and didn't put immense amount of pressure on the defense?
Yeah.
Miami. And that was before the bye last year. I mean, it's just, yes, they beat up on the Patriots and they beat up on the Niners corpse at the end of last year, but like they can beat the Saints playing like that. They are not going to beat good teams throwing for 160 yards, giving up 5 sacks.
Sure.
And again, that sounds cliche. Of course not. But man, I would love to see this team flip a switch when it's like run game doesn't work. Guess what?
Well, I don't even want to see it, unless the switch is into a different level, right? Consistently, because we've seen them flip the switch like that. That's the unfortunate thing about this. Like you want to see a consistent high flying offense or powerful offense. And it isn't cohesive, right? Regardless of what I liked on Sunday, I didn't see a cohesive offense. I saw a discombobulated offense early on, and then I saw an offense that was trying to, take the air out of the football in the second half unsuccessfully. And sandwiched in between then was, how you were able to muster enough points to win a football game and show off, the improved chemistry between Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison Jr., show that Trey McBride is still one of the best tight ends in the league. I mean, they're going to have to be able to, in a non-hostile environment, like there's no excuses for penalties now at State Farm Stadium. Like when you're playing a home game, like Evan Brown, Isaiah Adams, like you can't be getting whistled and flagged for penalties after you just got a DPI drawn by Marvin Harrison Jr. Like those are hurt running successful offenses. So I think it was a mix of poor game planning in the second half with an undisciplined team and also a Saints team that we didn't give enough credit early on.
I agree with you. I also, and this is my last point, and then we're going to get to Ross Tucker. I do think like our expectations are so low with this passing game. I don't think we're overreacting to like the Marv 45-yarder, but it's also like Marv finished the day with 71 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Like our number one receiver should have an opportunity to finish the game with 120, 140, 160. And we're sitting here and we're celebrating a 45-yard catch that looked great from the quarterback to the receiver because the bar is on the ground for our expectations with being able to do that. How sad, how sorry ass is that it's just like, we're embedding it and the Cardinals are pushing it all week. It's like, look at this rainbow ball. And it's a beautiful ball.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, I've seen Kyler Murray do that with DeAndre Hopkins and go for about $130. It's like another day at the office. I've seen Larry Fitzgerald do that. I've seen Kurt Warner is going to be on our show tomorrow. Carson Palmer. It's like, but because of who's calling the play, we got to throw a flipping parade because they completed a pass for 40 yards. Congratulations. Welcome to the NFL. Welcome to college football. Every team does that. So
but also every team does run a lot of plays at the line of scrimmage too. You have to understand that too.
But there's a balance. There's no balance.
Right. No. So, and I think one of the keys here is to be more aggressive coming out of the locker room.
For sure.
Because you could have put that game away by the time you and Noah had to leave for the post-game show in the third quarter. I mean, you score once and you put, foot on the gas and you get that done. So are we going to go to Ross Tucker or should we do a short segment and then get all the breaks out of the way and then we'll get to Ross? Let's do that.
Okay. Whatever you want, sir. It's PHNX.
Let's hear from the Cardinals defensive coordinator coming up next, Nick Rallis, here on PHNX Cardinals.
This is what a day. What a day. All I want to do after the show is I want to go curl up and eat Circle K food because right now that's the only thing that's going to save me from Bo's wrath. It's also going to save my wallet too. The meal deal matrix, $3, $4, and $5 meal deal matrix with our friends at Circle K. Join the inner circle for free. Hot dog, Frito-Lay's chips, Polar Pop, $3. After going to New Orleans over the weekend, I'm in financial ruins. I'm in shambles, and I need to go Circle K all the way, baby. My bread and butter, breakfast Sammy, hash brown, 16-ounce, coffee, Bang Energy drink, Polar Pop, 44 ounces, $4. I mean, come on. My wife's like, what are we having for dinner? I'm like, well, can I interest you in 2 huge slices of pizza for $5? And 20-ounce soda or Polar Pop. She might sit this one out, but I won't. Join the inner circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit circlek.com for more details.
When I'm not chilling for Drew Petzing, I'm hanging out at Gila River Resorts and Casino. I'm achieving legendary status. Me doing me and you doing you over at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit many value locations. How about 4 of them? Wild Horse Pass, Lone Butte, Vequeva, Santan Mountain. Experience the best that the Valley has to offer. How about a week from Sunday? We're going to be hanging out watching the Niners and Cardinals game. Yeah, the corpse of the San Francisco 49ers versus the Arizona Cardinals. We're going to be there. Gila River Resorts and Casinos, Wild Horse Pass. It's your headquarters for Cardinals away games. Don't miss out on that. Go visit with the 4,500 slots, live table games, catch all the action in any of their sports book. You do you. Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playatgila.com for more details.
We are just 4 new members away from reaching our goal of 10. There it is, the Supporters Club. You can get a live emoji, or you can get the new one that really kind of smears my good name on this show. We will unveil it if we hit to 10. We got 4 more to go. Become a supporter. True sicko level stuff. We appreciate all of our supporters. Shaft's in there. Brian's a supporter. And then we'll announce all the new supporters at the end of the show. And again, So our bread and butter, like the Cardinals defense is their bread and butter, giving up 13 points. This is safe space now. I can breathe easy from DC Nick Rallis.
Yeah, that's right. Mommy and daddy are going to agree on something for after arguing all dinner long. We're going to get into Nick Rallis. And another thing we can agree on is the performance from one rookie, Will Johnson, who was snubbed by the NFL for being a finalist for the Rookie of the Week. There were 6 of them. 5 of them were offensive players, and one was a linebacker for the Bengals night out of South Carolina. But Nick Rallis, the performance from Will Johnson.
Yeah, it was impressive. I would say, honestly, I was like, oh, yeah, I forgot about that. There it was. I even missed it. But that was an impressive play with his brain, no doubt, because they kind of made things look a little bit different, and he was still able to recognize, on the fly what it was getting to. So
in terms of like tracking the ball, was it kind of
pretty good, right? He got the ball.
Obviously, thinking, but like I also thought the ball was out there for a while. Like,
Yeah, that's hard. That's a hard. That thing's down the field against a really fast receiver. He's got good ball skills. Like he went up and got it. Wasn't surprised by that. He's got good ball skills.
He's an elite.
I love all the stuff about Will Johnson that's come out. I mean, from the game, and then just the high level play and that went into the blowing up Chris Olave and then tracking that ball on the interception. I like that. He's like, yeah, it was a good play. What else do you want me to tell you about that? But also, Baldy talked about it last week. We've talked about people close to the team early on as far as Will Johnson's tenure. They wanted to know, like, could he hang with speedy receivers? And he held his own and then some. Yeah,
I checked every box. What box did he not check? He had 3 passes defended, should have had an interception, had a TFL. Ross Tucker's going to talk about Will Johnson around the corner and just the instincts to be able to make a clean tackle on that, not to get a penalty. I mean, like Jonathan Gannon told us during training camp when we had a chance, both you and I, to connect with him, and he talked about how smart he was. And like sometimes that resonates, but a lot of these guys are smart. Like they take them from high-level universities.
Yeah.
And, Michael Wilson's super smart and Marv. Like Darius Robinson was an excellent student. Like I don't expect the Cardinals not to take like academic All-Americans. But then there's like Will Johnson level, like consuming the playbook and then executing on the field.
Garrett Williams. Yeah.
Right. Like that to me is like, that's a differentiator.
Yeah.
Like again, we'll see how he does. I think he's going to lock up Tedero McMillan this weekend. But like the learning curve for Will Johnson at one of the hardest positions in the NFL. You can make an argument like corner and quarterback and maybe tackle are the hardest positions for rookies to play. He made it look like a joke. That was like the Jaden Daniels at quarterback from last year. That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah.
Where it was like, not only does this guy look great, he looks like the best DB on the team. And that was his first NFL game. And so like everybody freaking out about preseason vanilla coverages and screwing around, no game plans. It's like, this is what it always looked like. So is he going to have bad games? Yeah. Will he get beat? Absolutely. But there's no bust factor here. There's only greatness pending health. That's it. And that's why if you're a Cardinal fan, it's like start printing up those number 0 jerseys. Like my dad texted me the other day. He's like, how quickly is your son getting a 0 jersey?
Right.
How quickly are those going to be gobbled up in the Valley, especially with those new rivalry colors, Bo?
That's right. We are 48 hours away from those being available for you at the local rally house. We'll save the pass rush stuff for after Ross Tucker. We're going to get to Ross Tucker. He was on the call on Sunday, and you'll get to hear from him his thoughts on how the Cardinals performed against the Saints. That's all coming up next. PHNX Cardinals.
Man, he is money, is Ross Tucker, as is our friends at Desert Financial Credit Union. I was in good hands. I left the state of Arizona, go to New Orleans, go to Louisiana, and I was in great shape. I knew, had I lost my debit card, I didn't, but they're taking care of me home and away. If you're an Arizona sports fan, there's no better place to do your banking than Desert Financial Credit Union. It's the only place you can show your team spirit every single time you make a purchase. They've got Cardinal cards, ASU, Northern Arizona University. They've got a team of financial experts committing to their members. I find this frequently, and they're helping you achieve your financial goals and dreams with finding solutions tailored to real life people like me, like you. And they've got more than just checking accounts. They've got savings, mortgages, right? Hopefully rates drop soon. They're going to be on top of that. Loans, credit cards, investment options, and more. And plus, if you open up a free checking account online right now, you get $200 in bonuses. We're all about bonuses, deals here at PHNX Sports, even with our credit unions. $200 in bonuses. Get started right now. Visit desertfinancial.com/200BO to get started.
I love that from Desert Financial Credit Union. I also love that when I was flying back, I was very comfortable in my sweatpants from Mack Weldon. And you were very snazzy in your button down from Mack Weldon. That's right. Leisure, also looking good in a nice button down. Mack Weldon's got something for everyone. Whether you're going to the gym or you're going out on a night in the town or you got a big meeting, Mack Weldon's got to have something for you. Save 25% off your first order over $125 with Mack Weldon. From the gym to the night out, summer adventures, clothes that make you feel comfortable anywhere. And let me tell you about the skivvies. Wearing the skivvies, got the 3-pack. It's unbelievable. They got the tech linen line. It's the best thing you can do for that area of your body. Just go get that underwear. Get your skivvies figured out. Mack Weldon, they've got an unbelievable line of clothing that you need to check out. And we are so thankful to be partnered with them because we believe in this product. Johnny in the shirt, I had the pants, I had the skivvies, all of it. It's great. Breathable clothes that make you feel comfortable all summer long and into the fall and into the winter. MackWeldon.com. Get 25% off your first order for $125 or more. Promo code PHNX. That's MackWeldon.com. Promo code PHNX.
Another plug. Get us there. We need how many more? 4 more members before the end of the show to unveil a new emoji. Become a member. Let's see it one more time, Noah, man. There it is. Join the supporter club. Let's dominate all these other shows on the network. We love them, but we're the best. Join the supporter club. Starting in 2025. For the real ones, again, you get the club badge, you get everything that comes with it, access to exclusive emojis and more. And there's a special emoji of your boy that you want to check out. It's true sicko level stuff. Become a supporter down below. We appreciate everybody who signed up. We're going to run through all the new supporters at the end of the show, but now it's our guy, Ross Tucker.
Did the Arizona Cardinals have an ugly win, or were the Saints better than we anticipated? Like and subscribe, of course, to PHNX Cardinals, Bo Brock, Johnny Venerable, and we're joined, of course, by the host of the Ross Tucker podcast. Follow social, Ross Tucker NFL, and call this game on Sunday from the Big Easy. Ross Tucker joins us here on PHNX Cards. And Ross, it was a banner day for the Cardinals, but, starting off with how I kind of kicked off the interview, was it an ugly win, or the Saints a little bit better than we thought they would be?
Well, a couple of things. First of all, I don't often say this, right? But I really like both of your names. I decided a long time ago, if my name was John, I would be Johnny.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Like, who wants to be John? You want to put him in a body bag, Johnny. You know what I mean? Like Karate Kid style. And then I really like the names Bo and Brack, actually. So if we ever had a son, I would have been pushing for them, and I would have gotten outruled in favor of Harry, I think. But whatever. I have 2 daughters. Doesn't matter. I'll say this. I think the first game is always tricky. That's not an easy place to play in New Orleans against the Saints with a new offensive coordinator, head coach, a new defensive coordinator. You really didn't know what you were going to get. I think they are more talented than people realize. Certainly their receivers can roll. They've got a bunch of veteran stud players on the defensive side of the ball. Cam Jordan, Demario Davis, etc. And listen, give him credit. I thought Rattler played pretty well. He played like a professional quarterback. He played like a guy that has games under his belt and didn't turn it over. I thought he was pretty conservative. It was pretty clear, and they told us they were going to do this. Arizona wanted to make him go the long road, and maybe he was able to have more success than people anticipate. They scored 13 points. You know what I mean? Like, you can say all those things. They ultimately scored 13 points, which you're going to win most NFL games if you only give up 13 points.
Ross, lots been made about Marvin Harrison Jr., his body transformation this offseason. He took a lot of shots nationally about why you like Malik Neighbors or Brian Thomas Jr. And I think, we've argued usage last year might have been a problem. He was on a team that was contending till the very end where some of those other wideouts were kind of spam the football. What did you see from the second-year player from Ohio State from a day that I thought was relatively productive?
Well, a couple things. One is seeing him on the field before the game, it's noticeable the weight he put on. Let me just tell you, he wasn't eating donuts, okay? Like, he put on 11 pounds of, like, rocked up muscle. He looked awesome on the field before the game. Secondly, I would say that I was one of the people that's skeptical of him in general, and then in particular the weight gain. You know, I've always said if you lined up 10 guys going into a season that gained weight and 10 guys going into a season that lost weight, I will take the guys that lost weight any day of the week, right? I'm typically skeptical of putting weight on, but it seemed like it worked for him. I mean, he made some big plays. He had the one down the field where it doesn't look like the weight gain has really slowed him down, which I thought was really encouraging. You know, they were the worst pairing in the NFL last year with over 75 targets from a completion percentage standpoint. 53% when Kyler threw it to Marvin Harrison. To put that in perspective for your listeners and your viewers, Kyler to Trey McBride was 75%. That's a big difference. I actually brought that number up with Kyler when we met with him, and he said it's going to be way better than 53% this year. And it certainly was on Sunday. Highly, highly encouraging. You know, I'm not going to sit here and say he's Malik Neighbors or Brian Thomas, but I will say that, you know, those guys got fed a lot of targets for their respective teams. Trey McBride, they don't have Trey McBride on those teams, right? Like, Trey McBride's so good, he's going to get a lot of targets. But what's most important is that Marvin is more efficient with the targets he does get, and he certainly was on Sunday. It was a really, really encouraging start in that way.
Yeah, I think it's unbelievable Sundays when you're on the call. You're also doing the Ross Tucker podcast in the wee hours of the morning. I listened to you the next day. Your evaluation of Kyler Murray was, you know, he missed some throws, but you thought he was effective with his arms and his legs, Ross. What was your overall evaluation of him? As you mentioned there, like, he had a near perfect passer rating when targeting Marv, but it was just his overall performance. What'd you think about K1?
Well, so I thought it was very favorable, right? You know, the issue with him is he still misses a couple throws a game that are tough to explain, right? Like the one on the goal line when Marvin was wide open on the post or the crossing route. I don't know what happens there, right? Like, I don't know if that's a footwork thing, or maybe Marvin didn't run the route exactly the way he was anticipating. So I would say the issue for Kyler is that he misses some throws that he really needs to make. The flip side is he's able to make some incredible throws, and he makes plays with his legs that other guys just can't, right? So you got to take the good with the bad. You know, he was put in a lot of bad spots. I would say one of the major negatives of the Cardinals in this game was the penalties on the O-line, right? I mean, Isaiah had at least one, maybe two. You know, Evan Brown, I think, had two holds. Froholt had one. You guys go look at the analytics. If you have a penalty on a drive, super, super hard to score points in general, but a touchdown in particular. And that's one of the things that hurt the Cardinals and kind of bogged them down was those penalties by the offensive line. I would say that was probably the most disappointing group on the team, was that those guys didn't play better. They needed those guys to play better. If they just didn't have those penalties or half those penalties, Cardinals probably scored 24, 27 points.
Yeah, I made the argument, Ross, like Cardinals line of scrimmage players on both sides, hardly any of them played in the preseason, where you've got the Saints. They're playing everybody throughout, 2 or 3 quarters because they have to. A player that did play a lot in the preseason, and I think it carried over, was the play of rookie sensation Will Johnson. He went 47th overall. There were questions about his durability long-term, and we're sitting here. That's about as good of a performance I can remember from a Cardinal rookie offense or defense.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not ready to go sensation, Johnny. I think sensation might be a little bit strong after one game. Rookie sensation. No, you know what? He was awesome. I mean, it's so funny to me too. Like the Eagles took this Jahad Campbell from Alabama with the 31st pick. He dropped because of his injury history. The guy's awesome, right? The left tackle for the Chiefs, Josh Simmons dropped because of health issues. He looked pretty good to me. And Will Johnson was fantastic. I would say this too. Not only was Will fantastic, they tried to beat him with the deep ball. He ran the route better than Shaheed. The whole concern is his speed. He did not let Shaheed get behind him. The Saints were like, hey, if we get Shaheed on that slow Will Johnson, we're taking him deep. Nope. Will was on top of him. Will got the pick. Hated the call on the other side of the field, but they called it, whatever. Very frustrating. But that was tremendous. The hit on Olave, I can't even tell you how many good things come just from that, right? Like, number one, that he read it that quickly and saw it. He's that smart. Secondly, most guys in that situation, they're not going to be good enough to lay a vicious legal hit like that, right? Mm-hmm. Like maybe they just make the play, or maybe they lay a vicious hit, but it gets penalized. Nope. That was perfect. Shoulder right in the chest. I loved it because I love hits like that we can demonstrate to people at lower levels of football. Look, the sport hasn't gone soft. You can still unload on a guy. Just do it this way. Just do it a safer way. I'll say this too. He wasn't perfect. I kind of thought Max Melton played well too. They got him a couple times, but guess what? He got them a couple times too. If you think about question marks for the Cardinals coming into the year, Marvin taking the next step is obviously a big one, and the young corners are a big one. If I'm a Cardinals fan right now, I'm feeling like real good about how those question marks were answered in the first game.
Yeah, further on that hit, because we've watched that hit about as much as we can, a replay from the game, Ross, and I thought your reaction to it was almost like guttural. It just like exploded out of you. You saw what was about to happen to poor Chris Olave on that. But Budda Baker says in the post-game locker room, and then JG, follows up yesterday saying that was a coaching point from defensive coordinator Nick Rallis, that if they read that to jump that route, and he remembered that, and they were praising his how brilliant and how smart he is to remember that and make that play. So really impressive from number 0 week 1 there, Ross.
I think I when I watched the tape back, I think I went, oh, yeah, before he even hit him. Yeah. Like I saw it coming and I was like, oh no, that's like, gosh, can you imagine you're like Olave's mom? That's just bad, dude. It's bad, really bad. Listen, that's the sport. Of all guys, though, Olave got 2 concussions last year. He's had 5 in his career, missed 9 games. Thank goodness he didn't hit him in the head. Thank goodness.
Yeah. You look around the NFC West, Ross, I know it's only been 1 week. The Cardinals get a win. You had to get that win at the Superdome against a team rebuilding like the Saints. Brock Purdy's injury now in San Francisco. Darnold didn't look great. The Rams are the Rams. Like, where do you put the Cardinals in this hierarchy? Is this a playoff team in your mind, given the personnel, or do you have to see it play out?
They have a terrific chance. They have to take care of business. Like this Carolina game, they cannot doink off one of these games. You know what I mean? Like, take care of business, ideally win by 2 scores. Never easy in the NFL. Carolina's not as bad as they looked in that last game. Carolina will be better, but the Cardinals just need to come out. I'd like to see a really mature performance from them, right? Like, win by 2 scores. Don't let it come down to a throw into the end zone on the last play where you could have lost or at least gone to overtime. I think that's kind of the next step for this team, is just like professionally, maturely taking care of business and winning the games that they need to win and taking the next step.
Yeah.
And I think certainly if they could cut back on the penalties, that would go a long way.
Ross, Johnny has a 10-year-old who's emerging as a great football player, dominated the flag football circuit. I've got a 4-year-old future linebacker and a 3-month-old as well. And you got a great little thing going here with futurefans.com, helping teach young kids to love and understand football. What else can you tell us about it?
Well, so it's crazy because I don't know, Johnny, if you've dealt with this, Bo, it's probably a little early for you. It's actually really hard to get little kids to sit and watch a whole football game with you.
Yeah.
It really is. Like, they want to be on their iPad. They want to be doing other stuff. So I met these guys from futurefans.com. They kind of cracked the code. So you'll appreciate this, but they're Bengals fans. And a few years ago, when the Bengals went on their Super Bowl run, they couldn't get their kids to watch the games. And they could be, Dad, I'll watch next year. Like, no. We're Bengals fans. Like, you got to watch now. This is the time. Sit down. So they know what kids like, right? Kids at those age, 4 to 10, like in between your kids, they like reading books, storybooks. They like doing activities like games. So they combine those two so that your kid can actually understand football, and like there's a bag toss to know, ring toss to know what the downs are like. And I talked to so many people, otherwise I wouldn't have invested in the company. Talked to so many people, seen so many videos. It works. Like, once they understand it, they'll actually sit there and watch the game with you. So you feel like you're, giving them a gift for $60 or whatever it is. You're really giving yourself a gift if you get them to actually sit there and watch the Cardinals game with you every week for 3 hours, like we all used to do with our dad. So futurefans.com. Futurefans.com. I think if you go throw your email address in, you even get a 20% discount. So what would that be? Knocks it down to $50. So futurefans.com. Give yourself the gift that keeps on giving forever if you can make them and help them be fans of the Cards like you guys are.
Unbelievable stuff. Make sure you check it out, futurefans.com, and also listen to the Ross Tucker podcast wherever you find your podcast, and follow on social media at Ross Tucker NFL. Ross, where are you at this week?
It's like a home game for me. It's Browns at Ravens. I live in Hershey, PA. So Baltimore is like an hour away, which is perfect. I love it. No flights, which is great because my flight was 2 hours delayed coming back from New Orleans after the game Sunday. So kind of like you guys this weekend, I got virtually a home game, which will be great. And you want to talk about tough. Both teams that clearly outplayed their opponent. They both had a kicker miss an extra point, and they both lost by 1 point. So that's life in the NFL. They'll obviously both be desperate for a win.
Ross, thank you so much for making some time with us. Our listeners are fired up to have you. Hope to have you back soon, my guy.
Hey, honestly, I hope to do another Cardinals game this year. I would love to come back on with you guys. Bo, thank you so much for your help with my prep before the game. That was invaluable, really meant a lot. And I got good reviews from the bosses, and you were part of that. So thank you.
Nice. Anytime, Ross. Thanks, man.
Wow, you play nice with Ross Tucker, but you yell at me in our first segment. I see how it is. You believe that, Noah?
CBS analyst.
Yes.
Can you help me brush up on my Cardinals insight? And I said, sure. He's like, you want me to get my co-hosts? No, I don't want to hear from
you. Help
John.
me shill it for Drew Petzing. What do you think is going to get me the in with Drew? We're in overtime. That was great stuff from Ross Tucker. Hope to have him back. And he was excellent on the calls, doing a nice job as he works his way up the hierarchy of broadcasters on game day. During that segment, we just got another new member, so we got to get 3 more before the end of the show. We've hit 7. We got 3 more. Do we have 3 more in us?
$5. It's $4.99. That'll cost you to get access to the entire YouTube page. Plus, you get these fire emojis, as they say. You see them kind of throughout the chat. There's the live. There's the HTL. There's some other PHNX staples in there. Plus, we get to that 10. It's going to be the best one yet. You're not gonna regret it. You helped us along the way.
I don't want it. I don't like it. Here's what else I don't like. I don't like the Cardinals sniffing around off-ball inside linebackers here on September 9th. Bo, what can you tell us?
Yeah, they worked out 5 of them. Now, this might be a product of, we'll see how Cody Simon's doing, coming off a concussion. He's in the protocol, but we've got the 5 linebackers. No, if we could, tweeted this out earlier today. Trace Ford, Nicholas Morrow, Antoine Powell-Ryland, Duke Riley, Channing Tindall. A lot of these guys, former SEC players. One of them's not, but Georgia, LSU, some recognizable schools. So some guys that have played some high-level football, but maybe they're looking to add some depth after Cody Simon took a knock on the melon on Sunday on special teams.
Yeah. There's a certain off-ball linebacker that's may or may not be available hanging around Tennessee's practice squad. I'm just saying. But waiting for a phone call. I didn't love the run defense against New Orleans, but because you're white, do anything for you? I mean, we talked about it after the game. Like, I think Mac Wilson is going to be great. He's a captain. I'm not ready to pull the plug on Mac Wilson. He had a great training camp. It's like, what's the downside of bringing Kazir White back and just being like, hey, we're going to have you. We're going to use you. You know the defense. He's not going to cost you a dime. I don't know, man. We're trying to go all in here. I'm doing whatever I can to make sure this defense is on point because this offense is too Jekyll and Hyde for me. So go and call up Kazir White. Kazir White wants to just be on an NFL roster. There's no expectation. So, but I look at that list and I'm like, well, they're not going to call Kazir White because they're working out, a bunch of Jags, just the guys.
Yeah, are they just dead set on being younger and more athletic at the position? It really seems like that's something that they're going to have a tough time getting away. Now, let's keep this also in perspective when you talk about that position. You've got Mac Wilson playing, the Mike linebacker position, and you look at Akeem Davis-Gaither and Cody Simon, Owen Pappoe. Like, Owen Pappoe played strictly special teams. And Akeem Davis-Gaither played 28 snaps on defense. That's 37%. You don't need somebody to really supplement that much. And that plays into your point about Kazir. You're not asking this person to come in and play a huge snap load. Now, Mac Wilson, I mean, he's a guy he's out there and he's going to play, he's going to be out there 100% of the time. But the complementary role, because they're playing, nickel, dime, penny defenses, you're not going to see a whole lot of multiple off-ball linebacker sets.
What was your assessment of Akeem Davis-Gaither? He had a nice PFF grade, but we watched the game in person.
That was one of those ones that didn't match.
He looked bad. He looked out of position. He missed tackles. Yeah, Terry, I don't get that ranking at all. And again, most of the time I'm here to sing the praises of PFF. He was not a fan of his play. I mean, and again, part of that is they wanted, after rookie camp, Cody Simon to seize that job. He didn't seize it during training camp. Nothing's anointed with JG as it should be. It's just guys, swallow your pride, go to Tennessee's practice squad and re-sign Kazir White. What are we doing? We can't have Akeem Davis-Gaither cost us games defensively. Sorry.
When we look at Cody Simon, I mean, he didn't log a single defensive snap.
No.
Neither did Owen Pappoe. It was Akeem Davis-Gaither. That was it.
Bad.
There doesn't seem to be a whole lot of confidence in a third-year linebacker and in a first-year linebacker, which is it's concerning. It is. I like the idea to pivot. I like the idea to go to Mac Wilson as the primary, your quarterback of your defense, but they got a long way to go as far as the rest of that position group. Owen Pappoe, I don't understand the value of his roster spot at this point, but until you find somebody to replace him, I guess he can hold on to it.
So Akeem Davis-Gaither. So for those of you who are asking, how did he rate so well? So he played 28 total snaps. That's not that many, but he's still 28.
Yeah.
He had a 78 grade. Okay. But his tackling grade was almost the worst on the team at 29.2.
So where did he excel? Where did the number boost?
His coverage grade was 76, and it says his run defense was 64. I don't know, man. He was down there. Here are the guys who struggled stopping the run. PJ Mustapher, but he only played 5 snaps, 11 snaps. Right. Garrett Williams, who plays corner. Baron Browning had a 42. Garrett Williams, and then our guy Akeem Davis-Gaither had a 29.2. He played for somebody who plays a role where you have to be able to tackle. He was the worst tackler, and it you don't need PFF to tell you that. We all watched the game. He was missing Kamara and company in the open field. He did not look good. So all your pride, whatever. I mean, people are asking in the chat, is there a burned bridge there? I have no idea.
It really doesn't feel like there's a burned bridge there. It's like this is stuff that Johnny was reporting on in late November, early December, that there was just a want to get faster at that spot. That they wanted to have a bit of a youth movement at that position. And then, I asked Rallis today about, Mac and how he did with his first game, wearing the green dot. And as far as just operating, he said it was smooth. And, he liked what he saw from Mac Wilson.
Well, you're not going to pull the rug from him.
Right.
Let him do what he needs to do.
Right.
Mac's a really good player. He didn't have a good game Sunday, but he's a good player.
Right.
Kazir White's only 29. I don't know.
But you look at the stats and they tell you one story, and then you look at, just
right
reps on the field. Is he athletic enough? Did he lose a half a step? And sometimes in this game that's enough to kind of cost you a roster spot.
Last year, PFF grades, Kazir White was one of the worst graded Cardinals via PFF at 48 overall. But he was a good tackler at 70.
Yeah.
You think back to like the Panther game, coincidentally, like those are the games where like the Cardinals probably made their decision.
There. Your pursuit is a little bit more different than when wrapping up. And like, I think that's probably where they wanted to find somebody that can go more sideline to sideline. I don't think it was like big. I don't think it was like massive. Like, I think Kazir White is probably still an NFL player, but as far as what JG and Rallis want from that spot, they're clear. Like, there's deep-seated relationships there that they're moving off of, because I think they have a conviction in that they have an idea of where they want to go with that spot.
Is he better than Akeem Davis-Gaither right now?
Maybe the thought process is like, take your lumps against the Saints in Carolina and, learn on the fly, because the only way they're going to get better is playing. And if it doesn't happen by then you break glass in case of emergency and you give them a call.
Yeah. I
save him from Nashville.
I mean, it's not, the Cardinals are one of 31 other teams that have chosen not to put him on their active roster. So it's a bizarre situation.
It is. It's unfortunate because the guy puts everything into it.
We have just 3 members to go before the end of the show. Let's dive into the super chats, my guy. Starting things off with our friend Quentin, $4.99. Thank you so much, Quentin, for your support. This team looked very unconditioned. The tempo had the defense cooked. Hopefully that changes. So my initial takeaway as well, I thought the defensive line, front 7 looked out of shape. And that's like, I'm not calling people like sloppy and overweight. I'm just like Bo and I watched Calais Campbell and Dalvin Tomlinson in training camp, and it was very low maintenance because they're over 30 and you want these guys to be healthy for 17 weeks.
Let's hear from Nick Rallis about the defensive front 7 and his assessment.
Good and bad. We knew that Rattler had some escapability, a little bit of flight risk. So I'd have preferred some of those scrambles, specifically towards the end in that 2-minute. Rather keep him in the pocket, because those are outs, and if in a 2-minute you can get a sack, that's a drive killer. It takes a lot of time. So if we rush with the right rush leverages on those, that would have been a much better day rushing. And then there's things that I thought were really good where we affected the quarterback. There's times where ball's getting out fast and there's not much you can do. Other than get your hands up. And then, there's times where I think we could rush better and, win those one-on-ones. So, that's kind of the story of every component of the defense, the coverage, the run game, the pass rush. It's things we did good and things we got to improve on.
I think 100% like Spencer Rattler was coached to get the ball out quickly. I'm very encouraged the more I watch some of the breakdowns from smart people on Twitter of like Sweat and specifically like Jordan Birch and Baron Browning, where the pressure was there and he got it off, but like Cardinal edge rushers were beating their tackles. I think I'm more disappointed with the defensive tackle play than I am the edge rusher play.
Yeah, he was asked about Darius Robinson. We don't have the clip. He was just basically, he said that there were some plays that he probably wanted back. So, you're looking for, and he had some complimentary things to say about him as well. And I don't remember him, to the T, so I don't want to misquote him, but I think he felt like he had an uneven game, and I think a lot of people felt that way as well. So yeah, you're looking more from this 26th overall pick. Let's keep it going with the super chats. Jonathan Castro, $4.99. What does it take to get to the next level tier after watching Bills versus Ravens? As simple as quarterback play. This is something we talked about watching the very same game.
I mean, there's two schools of thought here. It has everything to do with the offense and the quarterback play. Do you have a play caller that can elevate Kyler Murray, or do you have a quarterback that can elevate Drew Petzing? And it's figuring the answer to that out. If you feel like Kyler Murray can play, I mean, I've seen Jared Goff throw 5 touchdowns on a Monday Night Football game with Sean McVay, and with Ben Johnson look unbelievable. Like the Cardinals are not going to have quarterback play like Lamar and Josh Allen, but can they get in a shootout on prime time and score a bunch of points? Sure. I think I don't think they're equipped to do that right now as currently constructed. And if you're asking me, Jonathan, I think it is more so the style of offense that they choose to run. And somebody put it on Twitter, and this feels like, who was the Ravens offensive coordinator before they brought it?
Oh, Roman.
This feels like Greg Roman before they fired him with Drew Petzing. That's and then you don't get, I love Kyler. He's not as good as Lamar. So then you don't get the elite part of that with Lamar anyway. This feels like a watered down Greg Roman offense to me. And you're not, this is until they show me otherwise, that's how I feel.
Let's keep it going here. AZ Moses, 89, part of the membership club.
Thank you, AZ Moses.
Tight end to Petzing is like off-ball linebacker to Kime.
1,000%. 1,000,000%.
Yeah.
Somebody said that at one point they had 4 tight ends on the field.
They did.
Mm-hmm.
Travis Vokalek didn't make his way on the field, and yeah.
Did they ever at any
we need
point
an intervention for Drew?
Did they ever have 4 receivers on the field on the game?
I believe they did. You remember they said they went empty. You're like, oh, they went empty.
Did they go empty with Trey though, or did they go empty with 4 receivers?
I have to look back.
I'm going to guess they went empty with Trey.
I bet it was that 4 tight end look. I think they went empty.
Send help, please, God.
You're gonna write down a piece of paper and it's like, Drew, your actions are hurting us. Your affinity for tight ends has gone past.
Can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
If they play Carolina, when they play Carolina, not if they're playing Carolina this week. When they play Carolina on Sunday, and they go out there, let's say, and they defense dominates and they run the football, and James Conner goes for 120, and Kyler Murray has a similar game as to last Sunday. How are you going to feel?
So if James Conner gets it going on the ground, Kyler Murray's still
a typical
160,
last year,
170, under
like a
200
typical
yards.
last year win.
And what's the point total?
Probably somewhere like let's just say they win 24-17 or something like that.
I mean, that's still too close for comfort, no doubt about it. Yeah, I mean, look, it becomes more of a legitimate sample size instead of a small sample size.
Yeah,
and it's like, okay, is there a ceiling in here with this offense that's gonna keep you from, as you're asking Ravens, Bills, that's in the next stratosphere. The answer is you're starting to get your answer if you don't already have it. So they have to show improvement. You have to see improvement. And that was never one of my points earlier in the show. It's just I don't want to damn Drew Petzing after Sunday's performance just yet. Let's keep it going. $20. Ghost of Pat Tilley. Thank you so much. So generous. JV, where's the AT at? Bo, we are 3 years in, not one game.
That's right. With this offense, you want this offense to look like this AT Walker, just a dominating force that can do so many things well at a high level. If I had a scouting report for this AT, it would be quicker than fast, escapability, elite, right? Gets his feet off the ground, high knees, can be tripped up at times, but no.
I think the game plan with the AT is run the ball. You can't tell me different.
No.
Yeah, it's 12, 13 personnel, no doubt about it.
Sorry, but the AT-AT is 100% Tip Ryman. They're slow.
Thank you.
That is
And they're
true.
strong.
Damn it, Noah. You're right. When you're right, you're right. Thank you, Ghost of Pat Tilley, for the support on that level. Still 3 members away. Trevor, $4.99. Kyler not going to be sick this week, and I expect a lot from him and to play a lot better. We nowhere near the passing game that was shown on Sunday Night Football. No, both those things are true. And again, like, I think it's fair for people to be skeptical, like that with Drew and Kyler, that they're going to turn a corner where it's just going to be like, this is everything we've wanted. This is unbelievable. I think you're going to have good days because they had really good days last year. And then you're going to have days where you're going to need your defense to carry you, like Sunday. Yeah. And unfortunately, there's a ceiling with that. I think this team, as constructed, has no excuse not to make the playoffs. This is a playoff level roster. Kyler Murray is a playoff level quarterback. And I would love to be wrong, but like Kurt Warner, who's going to be on our show tomorrow, by the way, like having like a Kurt Warner-esque like run at the end of the year, or a Carson Palmer level 2015 season. Kyler Murray had an unbelievable year in 2021 before he got hurt. And we have not seen that same player since then. And I think it's a combination of a bunch of factors. And I do not think that this offensive coordinator is the person to unlock what used to be there if it can still be unlocked. I think what you have right now is an Alex Smith level player with some elite mobility. He threw 2 touchdowns last year, and Bo, you looked at me, or this past weekend, you looked at me in the press box and said, well, he's on pace for 34, which would be a career high by 8, right? And we're all just like, oh, it's a pretty good game. So
yeah, because they pulled the shoot offensively. He had bubble gut to start the game.
Yeah,
or before the game at 4:30 in the morning. Reezy baby, $5. Look, $5. That's all it costs to become a premium member. And you can get access to the unbelievable emoji. The one that doesn't exist will become part of this channel if we can get to 10. That was what was told to us by management. Reezy baby, $5. I will panic only if we start losing. Trenches will be better. Defense might be top 3. Petzing is probably who we thought he was.
I think this team is going to have a lot of good moments this year. They're going to have a winning record, and they're going to play in January. And I also think they're going to be in a great position to also say, if they don't get to where they want to be in January, we need to move off this person and this person and this person. I think you're going to be a defensive team with an ability to have a new identity offensively if you need to, or not. So I'm with you, Reezy baby. I think line of scrimmage is going to get corrected. And we assume they need to win 10 games to make the playoffs. I think last year was kind of an outlier. 7 seeds and a team like Seattle doesn't make the playoffs. That doesn't happen typically. Well, they have 1 win. Can we find 9 more on the schedule? I think we can. Easily, I think we can.
Topic 64. Friend of the program.
Guy?
Very loyal friend of the program. Love to see him out of training camp. Great win. Way to dislodge that ball. 1-0, baby. Huge play by the tandem of Cardinals mainstay safeties, Jalen Thompson and Budda Baker, to save that game from potentially overtime.
I had all the safeties on my trending up yesterday, and topic 64. It's great to see Jalen Thompson not hampered by injury after last year, fighting through it and looking like his old self over the weekend. Cardinals secondary, topic 64, have given up the least amount of passing touchdowns dating back to week 8 last year. So in the same point where they can't get their passing game going, guess what? The defense is like, we got this. We'll take care of this. They're a defensive team.
Are these all new members? Do we want to run through these? Okay.
Yeah, these are all new members now. 2 of them, the top 2, came before our show, so we will not take credit for them. So
okay. What? Why not? Mr. Fat Gangster? Always in the chat. We deserve credit.
We have 2 from Junior Garcia and Sharon Spell that came in earlier today.
Okay.
But those
Steven Jackson, Die Hard, friend of the program.
Hell yeah.
Thank you for joining. How about Cardinals Central? I believe that. Is that what that is? Yeah. Canadian Cardinal. Wow.
Love our friends.
Great eyesight from back here. How about Cameron?
Yep.
Great rapper. Mr. Boogie.
Spooky.
Became a YouTube member. Thank you, Mr. Boogie. Excited to have you aboard. Enjoyed the emojis and all the perks. Eric, new YouTube member. Thank you, Eric. And then Colum Das De Winter is a new member as well. So how many was that?
We got 7 new members. We would need 3 more to unlock this new emoji. So that's all right. Hey, we appreciate all the new members we have. And maybe we can.
Did you sign up?
If we get to 9, I'll sign up now on live on the show. But here's what I will say. Speaking of the show tomorrow, the greatest quarterback in franchise history joins this little fanboy pod.
He's gonna maybe help deem a winner between the first segment debate. I mean, look, if Kurt Warner gives you a little bit to calm down a little bit,
why do you think he's gonna agree with you?
Because I mean, you're
just assuming that Kurt Warner is going to come.
No, I'm curious. I'm just like you asked. You gave me a hypothetical. I'm giving you a hypothetical.
Well, if I say Kurt Warner, this is a team that last year was 20th in passing the football, and then this past week against the Saints, they had lesser passing yards than they did last year, which was their average. How did
basing on passing yards? The passing game is all just like the yards are the main telltale.
For me, yeah. Passing yards taking a lot of what passing the football is.
Yeah. Explosives, converting on third down.
You keep saying
how the points were scored.
They had 1 explosive downfield.
Led to a touchdown.
There's 1 explosives. I also I hate that we are including Trey Bence's run as an explosive. Like, come on.
Like, it's an explosive run. I'm not including that in the passing game.
Why wouldn't that be explosive?
I don't know. Johnny's just mad. I asked him a hypothetical, just like he did to me earlier in the show. Would
you rather it be chunk play than explosive?
Yeah.
Big play?
Whatever. Here's what I know.
Chunky explosives?
Would you deem this team's passing attack average, below average, or above average?
Average.
You think average passing attack's getting you to the playoffs?
I'm saying it's 1 game, brother.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yes. You want me to start to define things for the season already?
With this show, we're not sugarcoating anything.
I know. I'm not.
We're putting blanket statements. We're putting big bold letters on these.
I agree. We're not shying away from it.
I would love. Listen, people, I root for Drew Petzing. I root for Kyler Murray. I root for these receivers. But I also know, goes to Pat Tilley in the chat, we've been watching this for 3 years with Drew Petzing. This is what the offense is. I thought we were going to force Drew into a room with tape and skill players and just be like, hey, can you figure out a way to make this NFL competent, to keep up with the trends?
Mm-hmm.
And you see teams over the weekend, and it's just why is it it's crazy. I put out a tweet last night, didn't age well. I said JJ McCarthy stinks because he looked terrible through 3 quarters. Vikings fans, let me have it. He looked terrible. He looked like a high school player. And then in the 4th quarter, he's just ripping the ball downfield, and it's just I want that. I want those. If
you deserve that, Johnny.
If mid JJ McCarthy, get your charger out of here. If mid JJ McCarthy can throw the ball downfield, why can't we?
No chargers allowed?
Yeah, he's infuriated.
Get that charger out of here. You need a charger.
What does the charger represent, really? What are you really upset about? How about a super chat here? Is it Brandon?
Yeah.
Brandon Freights, $5. Like I said, $5. That'll get you membership. Bengals had 7 yards in the second half, and Joe B is still MVP candidate. Let's let guys get in game shape and Kyler get healthy and then react.
Brandon, I love you, brother. Love this super chat. Everybody was in shape, looked good last year, and they couldn't do it. I don't think it's a conditioning thing with the offense.
Joe Burrow had 113 yards passing. Talk about an investment in that passing attack. But look, there's a resume of he was unbelievable last year.
Patrick asking if I'm too negative. Listen. I don't want to answer your question.
Is Johnny is he a little too negative at times?
It's funny, like you're called a shill and a fanboy on Twitter, and then we're on our own show, and it's like you're too negative, Johnny.
Oh man,
I mean, I'm happy to
you can
be
be negative. It's fair. It's fair game to be negative. You can have your opinion.
I'm happy to be an extension of the team site, and we'll just give me the slop. We'll talk about we'll break down for 2 hours Tip Ryman's catch. It's just,
hey, Trey Benson had 52 yards on one play. Is that not change your mind?
Here's what I'm going to say.
Okay.
I think they have the personnel to do it. At quarterback, at wide receiver, that's probably the most frustrating thing. Like last year when I was down on the pass rush and the D tackles, I didn't like the personnel because I didn't think they were any good. But I love the coordinator. I think this year it's like the opposite, where it's like I don't love what Drew is doing with players, with personnel that I really like. How about that? So it's just a little bit different. I would love to sit back on Sunday when we do our watch party from the studio or watch along and see this team rip it up through the air.
I mean, I can't wait for that watch along just itself. I'm gonna have one earphone in at the stadium because they go 3 and out first series. Look out. Brian Rosenfield asked Kurt Warner about Todd Haley. That was special, I felt, and not as good as after he left. Kyler with Drew can be special if he adopts the no risk it, no biscuit BA philosophy.
Who's adopting it though? Is Kyler adopting it or is Drew adopting it? Oh, we got a new member.
We're at 8.
8. Thank you so much, Brandon. Figured it out. Thank you so much, Brandon. We appreciate that. 2 more to go.
I'll sign up and Johnny should sign up. That should get us to 10.
That feels like cheating. Brian, I don't know. The stuff that Drew does well, I think he does really well. But just in the passing game just makes me depressed.
But I agree with you. They need to open it up. They have to open it up. I need to see an open up offense. Take the governor off of it. Our old friend Mina Kimes said, take the governor off this bad boy. Let's let it kind of get out of take the sports car out of the parking lot, get it on the open road, and just let it fly.
Too Slim Shady, $6.99 Canadian dollars. I feel like Kyler's play style is never going to thrive with Drew's conservative play calling. Most times he looks great when things break down. I think there's a lot of truth to that. I think they are going all in on like this is a pairing that can work. I think we're on a trajectory where if the offense, if they make the playoffs, everybody's coming back. If they were to miss the playoffs, one or both are gone, guaranteed. And probably the more likely of the two is you would probably part ways with Drew and you would get another OC with Kyler and you'd add a rookie quarterback and you'd have some new juice. But I don't know. It's hard because like the Ravens are firing coordinators when they're winning division titles. It's like, are the Cardinals going to fire a coordinator if they win 10 games, but it's like defensive run heavy and there's a ceiling to this, like you have to have standards. I don't know what Jonathan Gannon, I love JG. He's been on our show many times. I don't know what Jonathan Gannon's standard is for good offensive play. I know it's not that over the weekend. I would assume so. I would assume he was disappointed with how the offense looked. Whatever it may be, passing, throwing, whatever. But I know giving up 13 points, like that's winning football. So
gives you a chance week in and week out.
Yeah. And I think, by the way, Carolina's not scoring 20 points this weekend. Book it with our friends at Bet365. They're going to hold Carolina under 20 points. Can Drew find a way to score 3 touchdowns or 2 touchdowns and 4 field goals, 3 field goals? We'll see.
Yeah. Nick Rallis said today that Chuba Hubbard is great getting dirty runs. For Gannon say that about James Conner and Trey Benson. They get a couple dirty runs. Love that.
I think they have a lot of respect for them after what happened at the end of last year. But the Cardinals personnel was toast at the end of they were run on fumes. Their defense was I mean, like I expect this to be. I know people are cynical online of Carolina, and you're worried about playing Carolina like the Cardinals.
There's a history. There's a long history with this. Yeah,
you have better players, you have better coaches. You're at home. You should whoop up on this team. Like I'm with you, and the people who said Ross included, like Carolina wasn't as bad as they looked last weekend. Shouldn't matter. Bryce Young should not. Bryce Young beats Kyler Murray again. It's gonna be hard to take.
A lot different. More. We're not just complaining about the offense. We're complaining a lot more than that. If they lose to Bryce Young after the stinker he put up, and his career still after that renaissance, as some people called it last December, Johnny went through it. It wasn't that damn impressive. It was just better than the putrid performance before the benching.
It was like, oh, I'm Bryce Young, and I'm not wetting the bed every week. I must be a franchise quarterback. It's like, no, you're average.
What do we, Bryce Young?
Good stuff. Today's episode. Big thanks to Ross Tucker on the call over the weekend. Now he goes on to take he said Ravens, and is it the Ravens and Browns?
Mm-hmm.
Not bad. Ravens should just stomp the Browns.
A lot of seasons are going to end this weekend. Browns are done. Who else is done? Browns are done.
The Giants, right? The Giants
are done. I think, unfortunately, for our friends at CHGO Bears, I think the Bears.
You think it's a season ender? 0-2 is a death sentence for the Bears?
Oh, yeah. I think the Bears are done. I don't love the Lions this year, but Dan Campbell's going to destroy Ben Johnson. Feel pretty good about that. At Detroit, I have no faith in that Bears team.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think so.
You think
I like the advantage as far as the coaching from the old protege more so than
Caleb Williams. No thanks.
I understand that.
The players are going to play hard against Ben Johnson
for sure. Yes, we all remember Ghosted Pat Tilley that I said the Rams were dead. No one's been more dead than the Rams, and then they've come back.
We're gonna pick up some big time games tomorrow with our Holder Folded Line returns Wednesday, last segment of the show. I believe one of us hit. The rest of the squad did not.
What was your pick?
Chargers. Money line.
It's a good pick.
Thank you.
Damon's pick was the worst. Can we admit that? Damon's pick was awful. And I did not
talk about a season that ended week 1. Miami Dolphins.
Kurt Warner makes his show debut tomorrow.
Top of the show, 4:30.
Look at that. You guys like Hall of Famers? You like all-timers? We're going to ask him everything about this offense. We're going to get into the weeds, and he's going to join us live, so you guys better be on your best behavior in the chat. No nasty boys and girls now.
Can't wait, and maybe by that time we've hit our 10, and we'll have a brand new emoji that you can just fire off it whenever.
Maybe we'll get Kurt to buy one. Hey, Kurt, can you buy a YouTube membership for our site, please?
He's done. I'm done with the show. Amateur hour around here. I've got more important things to do.
You guys are the best. What a banner show we had. I mean, listen, I can complain. This team's 1-0, and they should be 2-0 after this weekend. We are fired up to finally be talking about real tangible football. Big thanks, Noah Man, crushing it on the graphic side of things. Big thanks to Ross Tucker. Great stuff from Nick Rallis and Drew Petzing. I promise Mo and I will try to work it out off air.
We'll stay together until the kids get out of school.
No promises.
They're out of the house, and they'll just go our separate ways. Look, we're out there tomorrow. Noah's going to join me at the facility because we're going to talk to Kyler Murray, Jonathan Gannon, and Marvin Harrison Jr. as we do every Wednesday. And then it gets really fun as we've just been talking about. Kurt Warner, top of the show tomorrow. Do not miss it. Set your alerts here. Ring that bell here on YouTube. Subscribe to PHNX Sports because if you liked it before this and up to this point, it's only going to get better from here. Kurt Warner, the Hall of Famer, Super Bowl winner, joins us tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. We'll talk to you Wednesday right here, PHNX Cardinals.
We all silly like the mayor.